There are a number of reports available for your necessary tax entity reporting. A few of them are on the Reports menu and some are on the Period End menu. We're going to go to the Reports menu first and look at the Quarterly Tax Report. You'll use the Quarterly Tax Report to print a quarter-to-date and year-to-date summary of employee and employer taxable wages and taxes. You can print a summary report, or you can print the quarter-to-date and year-to-date wage and tax information for each employee. If you use payroll departments, subtotals are provided by department. You can select whether to include federal, state, or local taxes, or a combination of all three. Federal tax information prints first, followed by state, and then local. If there is at least one employee with taxable tips reported, the tip information prints following the federal tax information. So as you can see here, we're seeing our federal, and since we're using departments, we're seeing it on a department by department basis. And at the end of each department, we'll have department totals. So the federal information will all print first, then you'll have your state information. So here's an example of one of the state, and again this would be by department. And then if you have local information would print as well. The combined totals for all states are printed on the last page of the state report. The state totals columns reflects the sum of all states for which there are wages recorded. The combined totals for all local taxes are printed on the last page of the local report, and the local total section reflects the sum of all local jurisdictions for which there are wages recorded. When printing this report in detail, employer paid tax amounts are included in one total for all employees. Employee taxes withheld are shown for each employee in the taxes withheld section. Going back to the first page, and notice the very last column is a variance column. An asterisk is printed in the VAR column on this report when a variance between the calculated tax amounts and the actual deduction amounts is detected. The variance must be at least 5 cents for the variance and the asterisk to print. On federal reports, the asterisk indicates a variance between the amount of employees' Social Security tax withheld and the calculated amount of wages subject to employees' Social Security tax multiplied by the current employee Social Security tax rate in the tax calculation engine. The asterisk is also printed if there is a variance between the amount of employee Medicare withheld and the calculated amount. On state and local reports, the asterisk indicates a variance between the amount of employee or employer disability insurance tax withheld and the calculated amount of wages subject to employee or employer disability insurance tax multiplied by the current employee or employer disability insurance tax rate. The asterisk also prints if there is a variance between the amount of employee or employer unemployment insurance tax withheld and the calculated amount. If an asterisk prints in the VAR column for an individual employee on a line for an employer paid tax, you can compare the report to the tax summary detail data available in employee maintenance. Employees who do not have any wages for the year are not calculated in the report. The next report we're going to look at is the Quarterly Pay Recap on the Reports menu. The Quarterly Pay Recap shows a recap of wage and tax information processed during the quarter, and you can look at this in departmental level detail or in summary. It lists regular and overtime hours, earnings and tips, withholding tax, Social Security, Medicare and disability tax, other local and employee UI deductions, net payments. Totals are provided by check date and quarter. The information can be provided in detail as you see by department, or it could be summary by check date. Printing the report at the end of each pay period and before quarter end processing provides a convenient period summary of payroll tax deposit information to be reviewed before printing your quarterly 941.